Hey guys, my name is Jim Aspel. I'm a board certified workers' compensation attorney in Farmington, Connecticut. And the topic today is settling a workers' compensation case in the setting of what's called adjacent segment disease. And generally, this is something that we have to take into consideration if you're settling either a neck fusion case or a low back fusion case in the workers' compensation realm. So, adjacent segment disease is a syndrome or a condition that will, on occasion, set up following a fusion either in the neck or in the low back. And generally, when a spinal fusion, either in the neck or the back, is done, what that does is it reduces the mobility of that spinal segment. The surgeon is going to go in there and with plates and screws, they're going to immobilize that segment of your spine in order to relieve the pain that you're experiencing, takes the pressure off the nerve roots, and generally leaves you in a condition better than you were prior to the surgical procedure. The downside to that, however, is that when that lack of mobility in the disc segment takes place, it puts an additional level of strain or an additional amount of strain on the spinal segment immediately above the level that was fused. Because that level isn't moving, the level above has to take some of the brunt of the flexion of the spine, and therefore it's being exposed to additional wear and tear that it might not otherwise be in a normally healthy spine. So, what we see is that in these instances where there's been a spinal fusion, frequently down the road, there's going to be a need for an adjacent level fusion, either the level above or perhaps sometimes even two levels above the segment that was fused. And that can occur both in the back as well as the neck because the mechanics are basically the same. The mobility in the spine has been stopped. And so, therefore, that pressure is on the spinal level immediately above the level that's been fused. So obviously, if you're looking at a second fusion above the level that was previously fused, that's going to entail a significant amount of medical expense. It's typically a pretty expensive surgical procedure to do a spinal fusion. There's also going to be another protracted period of total disability following that second fusion surgery. Generally, you're looking at something between the area of 3 and 6 months of temporary total and then some light duty work after that. You're not going to see an anticipated maximum medical improvement until probably a year following that second level fusion. So there's a considerable period of indemnity that we have to take into account when we're settling these cases. Additionally, because you now have an additional level of your back that's been fused, your permanent partial disability rating is going to go up. Generally, it's going to go up on the order of 10%. The general rule of thumb is 10% a level. Some lawyers go less, some lawyers go more. It really depends on the situation, but that's a general rule of thumb as to what you're looking at. 10% per level PPD under the AMA 6th edition of the Guides to Permanent Impairment. So when you're settling one of these cases, it's very important to take into consideration this possibility of adjacent segment disease because it's a very real thing. Spinal surgeons will explain that to you if you ask them. Um, and it's not to be taken lightly because if you do end up closing out your case and then 4 or 5 years down the road, you end up having a problem in an adjacent disc segment and the workers' comp case is no longer available to you for benefits, then if you're out of work recovering from that fusion that you may need down the road, you're going to be out of luck unless you plan for that when settling the initial injury claim. So, something important to keep in mind um, if you have any kind of spinal fusion issue, again, whether it's in the neck or in the back, I would suggest to you that it's very, very worthwhile to consult with a workers' compensation attorney before settling that case. The lawyer can help you evaluate the case, argue the demand to the defense attorney, and generally leave you in a better spot than you would be if you tried to go it alone. That's one of those situations where, in my opinion, you really are well served to have an experienced workers' compensation attorney representing you in negotiating any kind of settlement. You have a spinal fusion, again, either in the neck or in the lumbar spine. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. We're in Farmington. You can call us at 860-523-8783. You can visit us on the web at www.ctworkinjurylawyer.com. You can check out the blog, which is on that website. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up, and I'd invite you to subscribe to the channel. There's all sorts of videos that we've put out on various Connecticut workers' compensation topics. And if there's something that you'd like me to address, if you have a specific question about anything, whether it's the back or the neck, shoulder, knee, I don't really care what it is. I'm happy to talk about workers' comp all day. Um, just leave a comment and we'll get back to it and we'll do a video for you. Okay. Again, hope that helps. And thanks for tuning in.